Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our latest edition of the Milford Informer. I am Tim Coet. We have to once again say congratulations and best of luck to the Milford High School graduating class of 2019. We were happy to once again bring you live coverage of the graduation ceremonies this past weekend. We will touch on graduation as part of our top stories for this week. Let's get to all of the details on that and more as we bring you tonight's top stories rundown. Tonight, we'll take a look back at Milford High School's 2019 Senior Week festivities, including Senior Awards Night, Senior Performance Night, and Milford's graduation ceremony. Also tonight, we sit down with Milford Legion head coach Steve DiVitto to preview the upcoming 2019 Legion baseball season. And later in sports, we'll show you highlights from Tuesday's D1 Central quarterfinal between the Scarlet Hawks volleyball team and St. John's of Shrewsbury. Another school year has just about come to an end. While the freshman, sophomore, and junior classes over at MHS prepare for their final exams, the seniors celebrated the end of their academic careers last week. Tonight we'll take a look back at all of the pomp and circumstance of Milford's 2019 Senior Week events.
I'm so delighted to announce that we will award over 90 different scholarships totaling over $80,000 in awards to our students. We're able to do so thanks to the incredibly generous support of many individuals and organizations in our community. And so for our donors who are out there tonight, on behalf of our students and all of our families, I want to sincerely thank you for your generous support of our students and for helping to promote excellence and achievement here at Milford High School.
Ryan Hazard. Ryan will attend the University of New England. He receives the Milford High School Leadership Award, the Nicholas P. Zakili Leadership Award, and the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Our next recipient is Eliza Valenti. Eliza will attend the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. She receives the Principal's Award for our salutatorian, the Prix Marie Colavita English Award, the Milford High School Leadership Award, the President's Award for Educational Excellence, the Milford Rotary Club Scholarship, the Pepsi-Cola National Honor Society Scholarship, the Thomas J. Watson Memorial Scholarship, the Milford Lions Club Scholarship, the Olga and James Mohan Scholarship, the University of Massachusetts Amherst Dean's Award, the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship, the Judy Langford Memorial Scholarship, the Alexandra Humiston Memorial Scholarship, the Woodland Elementary School PTO Scholarship, and the 2019 Better Business Bureau Consumer Education Foundation, the Barbara J. Sinnott Student of Integrity Scholarship, presented by Mrs. Nancy Cahalan. Gianni Pano. Gianni will attend Northeastern University. He is the recipient of the Principal's Award for the Valedictorian, the Outstanding Achievement in Mathematics Award, the Milford High School Leadership Award, the MIAA Scholar Athlete Award, the Worcester County Superintendent's Honors Scholars Award, the President's Award for Educational Excellence, the Colabello Family Scholarship, the Hoboken Golf League Scholarship, the Marilyn and John Mohan Scholarship, the Memorial Elementary School PTO Scholarship, the Michael J. Haver Scholarship, the Charles H. Espinette Jr. Scholarship, the J. Lim Scholarship Foundation for Math, the Leonard Hill Memorial Scholarship, the Northeastern University Honors Scholarship, the Milford High School Youth Soccer Association Scholarship, the Sons of Italy Milford Lodge number 1356 Dr. Peter J. Morganelli Scholarship, the Order Sons of Italy in America Charitable and Educational Trust, the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship, the Perlandello Lyceum Scholarship, the Terry Candini Scholarship, the Richard C. Corbin Athletic Scholarship, and the Milford High School Music Directors Award and Scholarship.
so important to be grateful for what you have. Please take the time to thank the people in your life that have guided you and pushed you to be better. I would like to thank my mom and my dad who pushed me academically and athletically. Mom, thank you for understanding what no one else could and being so instrumental in the great life that I have. Dad, thanks for making me a better man and believing in me.
I hope that in our pursuit of personal success, we never lose sight of our collaborative nature. I'm positive that every person in our class will be able to continue to demonstrate this collaborative spirit and create a sense of community in all aspects of our lives.
I want everyone to be able to look back in 50 years at their time here and be proud of how they spent it. Let bygones be bygones and leave your grudges in the past. This is your life and you choose how to live it, so choose well and wisely. I hope to see all of you in the near future, and I expect great things to come from this class of 2019. You have all been amazing friends, and I'll hold our time at MHS in a special place in my heart. Thank you to everyone who made these school years some of the best of my life, and I hope your future is prosperous and filled with happiness. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2019.
I'd like to thank our new Member Services Coordinator, Mark Aiello, for putting together that recap. Now on to our next top story. While we're not quite finished with our coverage of the high school spring sports season, we're also starting to look ahead to the beginning of a new season of Milford Legion baseball. The Legion season will hopefully get underway later next week, but in the meantime, we invited Post 59 head coach Steve DiVitto in studio this week to talk about some of the excitement that will be taking place at Pheno Field in the weeks to come. And we're happy to be joined on the Milford Informer this week by the head coach of the Milford Post 59 Legion team, Steve DiVitto. Steve, thank you so much for joining us.
That was my pleasure. Great to be here.
Rare to get a free moment from you at this time of year. Before long, you'll be lucky to have even a couple of minutes to yourself, I'm sure, as the Legion season ramps up.
There's no such thing. You know that.
No, there really isn't. But this is going to be your 6th year now at the helm of the Legion team. Can you believe it's been that long now?
No, because it's the same amount of time that Luca's been born. So it's pretty crazy to think that it's been 6 already. But I love this job. It's really not even a job. I love coaching this team. It's been in my blood ever since I was a little kid. I remember coming down to Pheno and watching the Legion team and being up in the booth with Joanne Iarusi when she was announcing every night and getting an orange soda and a Crunch Bar from her. But I love this program. I would do anything for it. I'm very lucky to have the support system that I have at home that allows me to be away every night. You know, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my mom, my sister help out, but it's really my wife that allows me to do what I love to do, which is coach baseball and coach this team. And it's really reassuring when they're there every night, and I know for our guys when their families are there. But you know, obviously for me personally, and I know my coaching staff feels the same way with their families, but I'm very, very lucky and fortunate to have such a great support system at home.
Well, and you want to talk about consistency. I mean, you look over the tenure of your time at the head of this program. You've been a lock for the playoffs every year. You've been right there at the top of the zone standings. A couple of state championships, a run to the regionals in your first year. Do you feel like you've been able to really elevate this program to just a consistent level of high expectation year in and year out?
Well, I think the consistency has been there long before I was. You know, when I was fortunate enough to coach with Brian Mackey, when he was there, the runs that we had, when Brian was a coach for 4 years. Prior to Brian being there, Rich Pierre-Gustavo was coach for 15 years. I was able to play for and coach with him. You know, before Rich, there was Joe Apicella. I think the model of consistency has always been there with this program, which is why it's been so strong for so long. And I think the biggest thing, and we talk about this with our players, is that you take a look at our coaching staff this year. Just about every single one of us is an alum that have played in the program. And you know, guys are coming back. They want to be here, they want to help out, they want to coach, and I think that speaks volumes for the history of this program, because all the coaches that have coached, have been head coaches, were players before that. And I think it's a really special thing. I don't take one day of this for granted, which, you know, drives me to work hard and push our players to give them the best experience and to continue our great tradition that we have.
We're kind of in a slight holding pattern right now for when we're going to get this 2019 season started. Hopefully we'll get it started a little bit later on next week. So I want to delve into this season, Coach, but just a real quick look back on last season before we get there. 20 wins, again, a decent run through the zone playoffs. How did you feel that last year went overall for the
It's like
group?
Groundhog Day. I think we finished 20-8 like 3 out of the last 4 years.
I think so.
We never settle, and you know that. We're not a program that settles for just 20 wins, just making the playoffs, just getting to the zone semifinals. We play, and we say this every year to our guys, we play for zone championships, state championships, regional championships, and national championships. And if their goals don't match up what our goals are, then it's not the right spot for them. We're not an individual AAU program that's trying to work on our statistics. We're trying to make them better ball players, better men, win a bunch of games, and have an enjoyable summer. And I think that's one thing that separates us from a lot of teams. And it was the same way last year. I loved our group last year. Great group of kids. That's one thing that when we're picking the team, I think that people need to understand too, is that we look for the best talent. We also look for great kids. And we want kids that are going to work hard, come to the ballpark every day, excited to be a part of a team and want to win some games, and not necessarily worried about if their ERA is under 2 or if their batting average is over 350. That stuff has got to be a side set to everything else that we work towards. We preach that day in and day out, and the roster for this year is no different. We have an outstanding group of men that a little bit older now, I'm sure we'll get into. Recently, we've had a lot of youth, not youth, but younger kids on the team, sophomores, juniors. This year, I believe it's 13 or 14 of the guys are either seniors in high school or freshmen in college. So we'll see. We'll see what the year will bring. But I think the biggest thing we push is character and doing things the right way.
When you brought up AAU ball a moment ago, and I know that's been an interesting hot button topic in recent seasons of maybe that pull of AAU that's maybe taken some of the typical Legion base away from some of the teams. You certainly did not have that problem from what I hear from tryouts this year. One of the biggest.
We had 41 kids sign up.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's great to know that it's still there. And unfortunately, we talked about this recently on the Sports Buzz. I could go on for days about this because I'm very passionate about it. I really and truly feel that a lot of kids and families and parents are being duped. They really and truly are. They're being sold something that isn't true. AAU is promising them scholarships and this and that, and being seen by college coaches. And yeah, they'll be seen by going to these events, but they're also paying anywhere from $1,500 to $10,000 for their kids to do that, and it's an absolute ripoff. For our program, kids pay nothing. They don't pay a dime to play for us. Other programs in our zone are in the low hundreds to play for, and you're getting exposure across the board. Our zone is really trying to go above and beyond with our website that we have that's run by Tim Walsh. He does such a great job with our website. Every team in our zone has a Twitter feed. All of our teams and our coaches have great relationships with college coaches, and college coaches have said to me personally and to other coaches as well, listen, some of the really talented players are playing for AAU, and they understand that, but they love a Legion player because they know exactly what type of game they're playing. They're playing a team-oriented, hard-nosed, tough battle night in and night out, as opposed to weekend days when they're going to try and go 4 for 4. And if they go 4 for 4 and their team loses 15-2, it really doesn't bother them. And that's not fostering a good relationship for when they get to college, because now they're expecting, well, I'm just going to go 4 for 4 and I don't care if my team wins. And college coaches are not really liking that. And I just think that the salve that AAU is trying to give to young kids today is false, it's wrong, and it's downright dirty. And I just don't like it whatsoever. And I have no problem saying that to anyone that supports the AAU program, because I personally think there are a lot of kids that are losing a lot of money, and families that are losing a lot of money because they're being sold this quite frankly, garbage.
It's certainly a great conversation that needs to continue to be had with athletes, no question about it. I want to delve a little bit deeper into your roster. It's a fascinating composition of your roster this year. You've got a little bit of everything. You've got a lot of players with either 2 or 3 years experience in the Legion uniform, which is such a plus for those guys. You've got 3 kids from college coming back that bring that area of experience, and You have some young guys on this roster too, some guys finishing up their sophomore year, but you mentioned it too, a lot of those new players that you're bringing into the fold, graduating seniors from high school that just have that experience of going through the wars in their varsity teams for 4 years. So you've got experience really coming from all phases that are going to be assembled on this roster.
Well, I think the one thing that we try and focus on is that we, as much as we're trying to pick the best players in the area, like I said, we want to pick good character kids, but we also realize that we're playing for this year, but we're also playing for years down the road at the same time. We've got to keep all of that in mind. So there's a bunch of pieces, and you got to play that game, that chess match. And we're also looking at enrollment numbers for schools too. So it's a crazy numbers game that we play. This conversation with the coaching staff, I mean, it's ongoing year round. We're meeting all the time in October, December. We're meeting at Coach Mates' house in the middle of January while it's snowing out, talking about the potential for a roster and reaching out to kids to see what they're doing. So the homework is done year round. And, this program is blessed to have a great group of coaches that go above and beyond. But this roster that we're talking about here, my favorite part about it is there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of experience, yes, but the character of the kids that we're picking, you'll see it all summer. It's going to be a joy to be around this group because they are hard-nosed baseball players that want to win games and want to help each other. And a lot of these guys are back from last year's team, and I think the guys that graduated from last year's team, Alex Reynolds, Sean Ribello, Aiden Wild, those guys that were there were entrenched in it for a long time. Aiden for 4, Sean for 3, Alex for 2, who is actually going to be back as a graduate assistant this year, helping us out after surgery, want to be here. Kyle Nocera left a couple years ago. He's back again as an assistant coach. Wants to be here because they enjoy the competition in the program, and I think feeding that to our kids is going to be huge. But I'm excited for the depth that this roster has at every position, from behind the dish to the infield to the outfield to the mound. The depth is as strong as we've had in recent years, and it's all on paper, and that's one thing we've said to the guys, it's all on paper, and what we make of it is going to be the key in how we work once we get this thing going.
The last time we had a gap between state tournaments in Milford, it was well over a decade. It's a much shorter time in between this time around. You hosted the state tournament in 2017. You're hosting it again here in the summer of 2019 coming up at the end of July. And so an exciting prospect for the team, knowing that they'll have that host bid into the state tournament regardless of how the regular season works out. I know you want them to earn it there. I know they expect to earn their way in there, but still an exciting prospect to come down the pike knowing that we'll have a state tournament play at Pheno.
Well, we've already said this to them. We know we're hosting, but that's not even an option for us right now. We want to win our way in. We want to win the zone and be the zone rep going to the state tournament. And we're going to leave it on the line, and that's what our goal is first come, first serve. Obviously, our first game is not going to happen with 15 of our 18 players playing in high school playoffs, which is an outstanding thing for us. But the state tournament will be great. In the off season, we weren't even really considering putting in a bid, and we were contacted and asked if we wanted to put in a bid. And it was like, all right, well, we'll talk about it. And Steve Galino, our new president of our baseball club, decided it's probably the best thing to talk to the board. The board approved it, and we went in and put in our pitch and got it over a couple of other teams. We got a lot of compliments the last time we were there, a lot of hard work by a lot of volunteers, and our board members were outstanding. Steve, was the tournament director. He's going to run it again this year. He does so much work for our club, and just like all the rest of our board of directors. So, we want to put on a first-class tournament for the town and for surrounding towns as well. We think it could be a great draw. We're hoping that we see some more fans down at Pheno this year. We're trying to do some more things, some more nights. On the 25th of June, we're going to have another Special Olympics night. We're looking to bring down a youth night for youth baseball. We want to try and bring the community back down to Pheno because it's a great experience. We know we're going to have a great team, but families looking to get a good, cheap night out down at the ballpark. We think it's a great experience for the kids to run around and have some fun, and for the parents to be able to watch some great baseball. So we're trying to really ramp it up around here, get some more positive energy around the town, surrounding towns as well, and the state tournament is just one more addition to that.
it feels like it's going to be a pretty special year for Milford Legion baseball this year. We certainly cannot wait to get our coverage started. It looks like right now, we hope the season's going to get started next Thursday on June 13th. Right now, it's looking like your first home game will be Sunday, June 16th against Maine South, and then again, a ton of opportunities to see this team in action all season long at Pheno Field, and then again later on this summer in the state tournament. So we are really looking forward to seeing what this team can do on the field. I know you are as well, Coach. A big summer ahead of you, a busy summer ahead of you, but we can't wait to see how things go. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll be spending a lot of time together, Tim.
I cannot wait. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
The playoffs have arrived in Milford, and fans of both the boys volleyball and baseball teams have already had a lot to cheer about. For the volleyball team, the playoffs began in dominating fashion as the Hawks demolished number 14 seed Keefe Tech in a lightning-quick 3-set sweep last Friday night. The number 2 seeded Scarlet Hawks then moved on to the D1 Central quarterfinals this past Tuesday, where they met up with a former league rival.
Now on Lucas Caetano as he releases the first serve of this playoff match. Good size up front for the Pioneers as they return that over. Now Joao Boaventura gets the deflection off the hands of the back row, and the first point of this match goes to the Scarlet Hawks. The serve away now for St. John's, handled by Caetano. They'll set it up over the middle for Gabe Brandow. A tomahawk shot from Brandow for the kill. All of the Milford bench standing as well as Boaventura releases that line drive serve. The return will come from the left side and out of the reach of Tiago Carvalho. The kill for Eric Backman. Carvalho's serve away. Setup drifts over to the left side. And a violation up front from the Scarlet Hawks pushes the lead back onto the St. John side of the floor. Now a dig for Matt Daig. Philadelphia slaps it over. Now from the left side, push back to Daig. He makes the play again. Now Philadelphia with a rocket. Ricochets off the hands of David Wickstrom for another Milford kill. Plenty of eyes on this court on the officiating crew. And a hard deflection for Boaventura. He absorbs it. A smile on his face now as Zach Brown drops it in front of David Wickstrom for another kill. Boaventura taking a very hard deflection, got it clean off the face, and laughs about it after, showing great toughness out there for the Hawks. 7-point lead for the Hawks, still on set point. The dig this time for Boaventura. Here's Philadelphia, and Tiago Philadelphia with the kill to finish things up here in the first set, 25-17. So St. John's seizing the momentum. Now Boaventura sending that one off the outstretched hand of David Wickstrom. That hand probably feeling like it just popped into a hornet's nest. Pioneers return it. Now Brown to the back row. Set up for Donahue again. Caetano. That deflection too far up and over the scorer's table. Orellana going as far as he could go. Serve coming from Michael McCabe. Here's Boaventura, and that one in by a good margin. And that kill getting a 10 out of 10 from the bench on the Scarlet Hawks side. Orellana sets it up across the way for Philadelphia with his little flip shot that he has done so well all season long, and it works to perfection there to close down the set with a 25-21 win. Serve away for Eric Backman. And the block at the net. That looked to be Casey Sullivan, the first to get his hands on it. And this time Caetano not leaving anything to chance. Orellana with a dive. Here's Caetano. He keeps it alive, and too many touches on the Milford side. A couple of athletic plays for Orellana and Caetano, and for the first time all match, we will see a timeout called. They'll try it now from Boaventura, but again his shot is blocked. And right now, St. John's making it look easy up front. Orellana now for Brown. This time it deflects off the hands of that front group. And down for the Milford point. And the Scarlet Hawks fans now starting to get loud again. Once again, electing to let his team try and figure it out without the benefit of a timeout. Here's Philadelphia, and Philadelphia gets it past Wickstrom for the kill. And that brings Milford all the way back into a dead heat, 19-19. Milford will have their third match point. Just skipping over the net. Now popped back over by St. John's. Orellana will set it up for Brandow, and that one is in, and that is that. Milford comes back from a big deficit in this third set, and they win it 27-25. And for the second time in these 2019 playoffs, Milford enjoys a 3-set sweep.
So for the second year in a row, Milford advances to the sectional semifinal, and for the second year in a row, the team waiting for them is the Natick Redhawks. Now, if you're tuned into the Informer on our premiere Friday night time, that semifinal volleyball matchup is going on as we speak. We encourage you at the end of the show to head over to milfordtv.net or check out our feed on the Livestream app to watch all of the drama unfold. Now, should the volleyball team prevail tonight, they would advance to the D1 Central Final, which would be held over at Shrewsbury High School on Tuesday, June 11th at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, the Milford baseball team is also alive and well in the D2 South bracket of the MIAA tournament. The number 13 seeded Hawks travel to Easton on Thursday this week to open up tournament play against the 4th seeded Southeastern Regional Voc Tech. Despite serving as the underdog, Milford exploded for 13 runs, their highest run total of the season, as they went on to defeat Southeastern by a final of 13-3. Justin Appleby led the offense with 3 hits, and Danny Corsini earned the victory on the mound in a complete game effort. The baseball team will move on to the quarterfinals next week, where they will face off against either Greater New Bedford Voc or a Davenport Division rival in the Stoughton Black Knights. The date and time of that game have not yet been decided. We wish the best of luck to the volleyball and baseball teams as they continue to move forward in the playoffs. Now, before we wrap up tonight's show, we want to let all of our viewers know that we are entering into our summer schedule for the Milford Informer. From now until the end of August, you can catch new editions of the Informer every other week. Our next new edition will debut on Friday, June 21st. We will certainly have a lot to get you caught up on by then. Until next time, from all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.